And so I called this piece Ancestry DNA, but it is an homage to the work ethic of the Virgo native. So Virgos are very associated with work. They love a good day's work, and they respect spouses that have a fantastic work ethic, and they find it important for themselves to have one as well. When I created that piece, I included all of the names of the islands inside of the mango. The word mango has everything from Belize to Trinidad to Jamaica to Antigua and Barbados and Honduras and Roatan. All of those places are found in there. So if you got really close on it. And the thing that I want you to know about that is you have to understand how hard it is. You will have to work to get to your place, get to the place that you want to be. And it's very important that you don't let anybody to sway you from whatever it is that your destiny is. And the reason that I started talking about this is because my West Indian parents are hard workers. And so they didn't understand the creative path that I have taken. No one in my family does energy readings. Okay. I know you might think I dated someone once and they thought, oh, this must just be like passed down. Maybe in ancestral history somewhere that I don't know about, but maybe in some other lifetimes, but not from my immediate family. I am the oddball out here. My family are all very successful in medical professions and just doing fine. And they are not like me. They are just now starting to understand. But let me tell you, sometimes you can allow the other opinions of people to slow you down and not have you do things that you might want to do. I knew I wanted to be a chef when I was 13. I came home from a school fair at Marathon High School and I'd seen the chef and I was mesmerized. And my mom was like, that's not a real job. This is before chefs were everything. You know, now they're all the rage. But she was like, that's not a real job. And you're a Black woman. Why would you want to cook for other people? I still cook. I catered my own art show this weekend. I found it a fantastic skill set. I went to culinary school. I had fantastic mentors and chefs, and I don't regret it. But it took me an extra 10 years an extra almost 15 years. But from the time that I thought I wanted to be a chef and I knew it in my spirit and the time that I actually went to culinary school because I was listening to that voice. So now I don't listen so much to the other voices and people's opinions about what things should be happening. And that's something I want to pass along to you. We have people that we can look at that are iconic, like Maya, and we can say, I can follow behind her in her footsteps. But it's very important to listen to the nuances of what you're wanting from your dream, because we can easily be led off track with the opinions and the well-meaning intentions of those that love us. So really tap into yourself and then speak that life over yourself and wash yourselves in words the way that Maya did and does, still washes in words, You can read any of her material and I think be uplifted. And I wanted to spend the duration of the show focused on her, but I wanted to talk a little bit too about Moses, just tying back into the idea that we go through transition. Easter's coming up, so we're going to be hearing a lot about the Christ story. Well, around Easter, Bible stories were just read in my house, period. I had a very, very religious grandmother. So these stories pop into my head. And whenever I'm going through things in my life, I liken them to those Bible stories. No matter how you may feel about them, the stories are fantastic kind of allegories about what can happen in your life and what you need to do. I almost said fables. They're not, I don't know if they're fables or not, guys. That's going to be up to you. But those stories are fantastic stories to really pull sustenance from. One of the stories that I loved always was Moses. It's one of the first ones. And I remember my little Bible book and my mom reading this to me about how Moses was in the river and someone fished him out of the river and then took him into the palace. And then he was raised as a prince, but he wasn't. And then he went and led the Israelites to freedom. Here's the background. Did you know that Moses' name means drawn out? I thought that was really interesting. That would be the breakdown to his name. And I wondered if that was really his name or was that a name given to him because it made sense for the story that followed. Moses was drawn out of the river. You just heard me say that. And in that time, he was in this comfortable spot, maybe not so comfortable that he knew as a baby he wasn't cognizant that it may not have been the best spot for him, but comfortable enough for him in a bassinet. He's drawn out. He is taken into the palace, and then he's drawn out of there in order to become a leader. An uncomfortable time of transition for him. Read the story. Lots happens. It reads like a Lifetime movie. But he's drawn out of the palace, and he's kind of cast out into the wilderness, and he has to find himself. And he has to draw out the Israelites into this promised land. And the journey was drawn out, quite literally. 40 years in the desert, he's searching for something, himself, God, everything and nothing. And he's there, drawn out. And in between being drawn out, he's uncomfortable because he's leaving the thing that once was a place that incubated him. But Moses also was a person who spoke words over himself, and he knew that he was going to get there, even if he didn't get in. So I love that story of Moses, and I love the idea that his name means drawn out, because I think that sometimes in our life, things in our life can be drawn out. We think, again, I go back to that thing with the ladybug, that we're not making any progress, but we really are. We're really taking incremental baby steps that we can't even measure or see. I think it's really important for you to give yourself credit. Be kind to yourself. Pat yourself on the back and remind yourself you're working towards something, whatever that thing may be for you. Some of my clients are in school. Some of them are wanting to have babies. Some are wanting to be married. Some are wanting to be divorced. But they're in the process of trying to achieve. And there may be days when it feels like there's no forward motion, but please know that the universe is at your back and there is always forward motion. Do not be dismayed when things seem to be drawn out. All right, guys, I'm so glad to have been able to come and share a little bit of energy with you this week. Next week, I'm really excited. We're going to be celebrating World Autism Day, which actually happened on April 1st. And we have a fantastic guest, Brenda, who will be coming in and speaking from her personal experience and taking us through some of the ins and outs of dealing with and raising children that have handicaps or disabilities. And she is a fantastic advocate that works with so many groups. I couldn't even name them all. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. So tune in next week. If you know someone that has a child that may be dealing with any disabilities, from Asperger's to Down syndrome, please listen. Tell them. Listen next week. This is a show for them. Some fantastic resources will be given. She's actually based in New Jersey. So I'm really excited for her to come on and share her information and her knowledge, her hard-earned knowledge with you. I think that you guys will really enjoy the show. So tune in next week as we continue to evolve together. I'll see you soon. Bye.